Today we're going to be talking about the difference between denotation and connotation. So before we start, you should pick up the notes that say denotation versus connotation. And you should also pick up your vocab chart because both of these terms are actually on your chart. Denotation really simply just means a dictionary definition. It's just the actual meaning of a word. This might be easy to remember because they all have D's. So the denotation is a dictionary definition. Every word in the whole wide world has a dictionary definition. Words may have different denotations depending on usage. So the word run may mean to go fast, or you could say there was a run in my stockings, like a rip, or the water is running, then it's flowing. So there can be different denotations based on usage, and that's okay. But every word also has a connotation, and connotation is a big deal. Connotation is the feeling or impact of a word. A denotation you can look up. A connotation you kind of just have to get from usage. So you look at the context, and it might have a different feeling. The very same denotation can have very different connotations. So for instance, if you were talking about going somewhere, you could say, we are going. Okay. Or you could say, we get to go versus we have to go. The denotation is you are simply actually going somewhere. It means the same thing. But get to is kind of a positive connotation, and have to is a negative connotation. Connotation, again, is just the feeling of the word, the impact of the word. That's the difference. So let's look at a couple words. First of all, let's look at the word smell. If someone were to say, wow, what's that smell? Maybe they mean it in a good way. Maybe they mean it in a bad way. But let's kind of think of a little more negative way to say smell, or a little more positive way to say smell. So what's a negative way to say smell? And we might say, wow, what's that odor? And that's a little more negative. What's a little more positive? We're talking about a smell. We might say, instead of what's that odor, what's that scent? Or even more positive, you might say aroma. What's the aroma? What's that scent? These are positive words. They all just mean the same thing. They just are talking about this. This is kind of your baseline neutral word, but different connotations based on usage. A really negative word, maybe we say stench. Wow, what's that stench? There's no way to mistake that that's actually supposed to be positive. Just like it's very rare that you would use a word like fragrance and mean it in a negative way. So make sure you have these examples because this is a really good kind of connotation continuum. It's like a number line, positive, negative. A really good way to determine a word's connotation is where would you put it on this number line? The next word we could look at is just the word dwelling. A dwelling is a place you live. So there are lots of different words we use to describe the place we live. It could have a positive or a negative connotation. Take a second and see if you can come up with some positive words to talk about the place you live. Like, would you like to come see my dwelling? We might say, would you like to come see my house? That's pretty negative, or just pretty neutral. What's a positive way of saying house? And maybe we say, my home. Home's kind of positive. If you want to take it even more positive, maybe we say my abode, my humble abode, or we say my mansion. Or even further, we say my castle. Welcome to my castle. Maybe crib is somewhere in here. There's lots of different words to describe where we live in a positive way. In a more negative way, we might say maybe my shack, or a shanty, like a lean-to shack. It's not real secure. If you want to get super negative, you might say this place is a dump. All of these are just different ways of saying the place you live. Connotation's pretty clear if you call it a dump, just as it's pretty clear if you call it a mansion. We're going to also look at the word small and try to come up with a positive and a negative way of saying small. So think about cars or think about clothing. It might be minuscule. It's a minuscule problem. It's small and unimportant. Or a puny problem. A puny person. It's supposed to be a P, sorry. P-U-N-Y. Small could also, in a positive way, just be like miniature. It's kind of a cute, nice thing. Or petite. The petite section of clothing doesn't mean it's puny or scrawny. It just means kind of small and cute. So all of these mean the same thing. They have the same denotation, but a different connotation. So here's your job right now. Let's look at A, B, C, and D. We're all looking for a word that kind of means polite. This deals with how you talk to people. Are you refined, respectful, diplomatic, or condescending? And once you figure this out, you might have to look them up. You can look them up in a dictionary. Or there's this good resource, a thesaurus, that will help give you synonyms. So if you look up a word like this, these might be there. Or maybe you just know them. So I want you to plot the A, B, C, or D somewhere on this line right here and show me. And if you're on the right track, you're going to move on. Just as a reminder, we want to figure out a word's connotation, and in order to do this, you have to know the denotation. You have to know what it means. You have to understand the impact of the word. Is it good or bad? And that's what we're going to practice. So first thing is go back to this and plot it, and then show me. The second thing after that is you're going to be working on a positive and negative connotation worksheet, and we're going to walk through that together real quick. So pause this, and when you see me, it says now practice. I'll give you the practice, and you can continue for a couple minutes by yourself. Pause right now and come show me what you got. Okay, so once you've shown me your paper and you're kind of checked off, ready to move on, you're going to use your notes, and this is the paper you're going to work with. So up here, eventually, not right now, please, right now you're just going to look for positive connotations of any word in parentheses, and this paragraph is all positive. And in this paragraph, same thing. You're going to look for any word in the parentheses that is negative. But for right now, let's look down here and try to see if we can come up with some positive words for these. So we're looking at these words, try to come up with a positive word. So let's think about the word strife. Strife means you're experiencing something that's hard, it's difficult, you're experiencing strife. What's maybe a positive way of saying strife? Like, oh, he's not rambunctious, he's enthusiastic. Or she's not bossy, she's a leader. So we're looking for a positive way to say this. And maybe the word is something like a challenge. It's not strife, it's a challenge. Maybe someone's not weird, someone is what? What's like a positive way of saying weird? She's not weird, she's maybe unique. Maybe special. Someone earlier said mysterious. I'm not weird, I'm mysterious. That's awesome. Exhausting means you're really, really, really tired. So what's just like a little more positive way of exhausting? And maybe you just say tiring. It's tiring, or it's, yeah, anything really exhausting. Tiring is a little less awful, so that's good. This word right here is the most wonderful word ever, caterwauling, and that's literally that sound a cat makes when it's like attacking something, like rah! So caterwauling, if I walk in the bathroom and I say, stop caterwauling in here, you might say, we're not caterwauling, we're what? So maybe we say shouting, because you could be shouting for a positive thing. Take it even further. Think of a pep rally. It sounds like caterwauling at that pep rally when really we're just cheering. Something like that. So use these as examples. It has to be the same part of speech. Your job is to figure out a positive word for begging. Someone's still begging, but what's a positive word for that? And then you're going to go back up here, and for all the words in the parentheses, you're going to pick the positive word in this paragraph and the negative word in this paragraph, and then turn it in for a grade. So look them up if you need to, and think about the impact.